Consider supporting Archaeosoup on Patreon for as little as $1 per month. Link available in video description. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to another Digging the Game. In this series we play computer games as archaeologists, and to be honest I didn't really plan on making this video today. I had hoped that by now In Focus Bow Tapestry would be out and you guys would be enjoying that, but events have overtaken me, and a video as in-depth as that one requires much more time and headspace than I can give it right now, because I'm in the midst of organising and preparing, well, both in terms of admin but also mentally, for a funeral that's coming up on Friday, sadly, my mum's funeral. We'll be travelling down to Wales on Thursday for that, and obviously today I have things I need to do for that, but I can't do anything until Monday afternoon. It seems Monday morning is a time when people just aren't in the office yet, and I needed to do something. So I figured that today I would, or this morning at least, I would follow up on the Joe and Mac Returns challenge that was sent my way by a wonderful Archaeosoupian, with the additional challenge that was sent my way. Another game on that website, an emulated computer game called Indiana Jones Greatest Adventures. And whereas many of the videos in this series I try to be a serious commentary on the relationship between archaeology and computer games, form and structure and this kind of thing, today's game I'm hoping will just be fun, because I've heard it's not the best game, but it's a fun game, and hopefully you'll understand if I need a bit of fun on this particular Monday morning. Anyway, let's dive in. Indiana Jones Greatest Adventures on SNES originally. Looks like it's based on the original trilogy, or I suppose the trilogy. Lots of people don't count the fourth film. I do, but lots of people don't. And so far we've got a very familiar trope for indie games, and that is MIDI Raiders March there for the music. We've got the Knight from The Last Crusade, top left. Indy's dad, bottom left, that's cool. Marion, I think, top right, holding the medallion, possibly. So yeah, it's working so far, although sometimes I love 16 and 18-bit music, but other times I really, really appreciate modern orchestral computer game soundtracks, and this makes me long for an orchestra. Anyway, press start. Okay, LucasArts production, the famous shot from the beginning of Raiders, where they merge in from the Paramount logo to a mountain, ostensibly in Peru, I think. But I think this wasn't shot in Peru. Anyway, it doesn't matter. South America, 1936. Oh, the music's a little bit painful, isn't it? In comes Indy. This is the time before they could render video in a computer game, so it has to be still images. The Jovitos son near, senor. Okay. A young Alfred Molina there, who would go on to play, for example, Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. And oh, we've skipped the whip and the gun. That's the gun smoke behind him, you know, when he whips the gun out of the guy's hand. This is it. The golden idol must be inside this temple. Okay. Oh, this music isn't great. I know what they're getting at. I know which bit of music they're trying to emulate here, but you know, emulate in more way than one. Let's go. Okay. Now, as ever, I find myself sorry, changing key and speed there a little bit. Yeah, I find myself ever so slightly conflicted playing an Indiana Jones computer game. In particular one which is action focused, because if I was an archaeologist, well, I am, but in this instance, if I was entering this temple, I wouldn't necessarily want to just run through it and, you know, whip all the wildlife and, You know, but here's a local, for example. Let's try and interview him. Hello, would you like to take part in the interview for an ethnography? What's your belief structure? How did you build this place? No, you're just going to try and hurt me, so I'm going to have to whip you. And yeah, and that's the thing, is that you can't really play these games for the most part as an archaeologist, as it were, in game, especially one that's is action focused. And so there's a sort of a love-hate relationship, I think, that lots of archaeologists have with indie, quite rightly. I've got the hat, for example. Someone gave me the hat in uni, and I love it because it's functional. It works very well. It works in the rain. It works in the sun. It's a wonderful hat for the field. But it is also part of this stereotype. And this stereotype is, as we've talked about before in other videos, is not archaeology. It is a certain serialized form of adventure, but it does give rise to many associations with archaeology. It's one of those weird sort of things where, again, it's love-hate. So, for example, if I was here, if physically in the game as an archaeologist, would be fascinated by the mechanics behind this bamboo spike trap that's coming up and down out of the ground. Like the technology required to build into this cave that's been somewhat turned into a formal structure with masonry, to have a void there below the pathway, to have bamboo coming up and down out of the ground, is quite remarkable. I mean, if you think about it, we struggle in modern life to have a building that has a lift or an elevator that works without breaking. And I'm gonna have to whip another local again. There we go. And never mind having, for example, booby traps. And here's a poisonous spider. If this was an excavation, we'd have to halt everything while we did a risk assessment. So we wouldn't make it this far into the cave so quickly. And maybe that is why actual archaeology doesn't make for a good Hollywood movie. And this is possibly why Indiana Jones makes for, well, at least in theory, a good prospect for a computer game, is that indie is all about the action. Now, I think I picked up some grenades. Should we use a grenade just to top off this non-archaeological approach? Okay. There we go, that's the bat out of the way. Oh, no, another Hovitos. If only you spoke Hovitos, Indy, you could warn them, says Beloch, or Belosh, at the beginning. Now, I recognise that sort of mask on a net is at the back of the room in which the idol is. So sort of Indy walks in from the left and comes towards camera. So, you know, I'm appreciating some of the cues from the set design they've got going on here. I like the moving leaves, they're quite funky. Hearts, grenades. Ah! Woof. Now, yeah, so again, this whole thing of having booby traps built into the architecture, I've always found that fascinating. The effort, the time, the sort of the craftsmanship. If you want to look at it from an economic standpoint, you know, it costs a lot extra to do. And beyond that, I suppose culturally, it really has had an effect on how people assume historical archaeological sites are constructed. You know, they will ask, you know, have you found any booby traps, or, you know, this kind of thing. Personally, I've never come across a booby trap. I know of some places where oh, speaking of which, actually, okay, so we're okay with the light there. Okay, cool. No dead. Oh, how do I? Oh, blimey. Oh, can I get my? There we go. Got my whip back. Yes, if you haven't found any booby traps, and there are some archaeological sites where they will, for example, maybe lay a layer of poisonous material, but that material, we don't know if they knew it was poisonous. So was it there to poison potential grave robbers, or actually was it just there because it was the right colour, you know, like a reddish colour to reinvigorate, for example, the look of a corpse that was buried in a tomb. You know, so sometimes I think there are accidental booby traps and dangers. For example, I in the past have been poisoned on an archaeological site. arsenic got into my system. Oh, that wasn't there before, was it? That extra ray of light. Ah ha ha ha! There you go. Just like in the movie, I broke the light and we got a trap. Alright, okay, so how do I get past this guy? Can I crouch and sort of... Yes, I can roll. Cool. There we go. So, all that to one side, all of those sort of hang-ups about, oh, he's not really an archaeologist, but he's also an archaeologist, and he's cool, and archaeologists kind of love him, but they also get frustrated with him. All that to one side. As a computer game, this is okay. I certainly remember playing lots of similar games when I was a young man, when I was a younger person, in high school, or probably primary school, actually, more like the over this game. Okay. The rhythms are very familiar as a platformer. And in terms of the structure, that wasn't so bad. I finally found the golden idol, okay? Oh, the bad music again. Oh, let's go. Have to get... It's going to be the iconic boulder falling, is it? Come on, there we go. Here it is. The boulder rolling uphill because of physics. Again, physics. Now this is nowhere near as difficult as the Last Crusade game that came out on Mega Drive. I still haven't played that on this series, and I may well come to it at some point, just I suppose for nostalgia's sake. That game is a punishingly difficult platformer, and it's not as enjoyable as this game. He was about to say, dying for the third time, second time. I'm losing count. Off we go. So, why are you rolling uphill, boulder? Spikes and things. Stop. This is annoying. Okay, let's go. Come on, come on. Ah, rats, rats. Okay. I lost him. Oh, from Last Crusade when Indy's fallen off the cliff. Oh, what? You have to start from the big... Oh, that's nonsense. Okay. Well, let's try and get to the boulder again. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Come on, there we go. There we go. Stupid rolling uphill boulder. Urgh. So I'm trying to hit everything. That's so annoying. Okay. Let's go. It's one of those things where just talking about game structure and design is that you can't see what's in front of you because, well, you're running at the very edge of the screen. It's not really fair. Let's go. I did say I wanted a fun time this morning, didn't I? Okay. Come on, come on. Come on, Indy. We can survive. Oh! Let's go. Come on, one take wonder, one hit wonder. Let's do this. Do this in one amazing go. Oh. Oh. Yeah. And there we go. Well, so I guess we'll leave it there then. Well, I didn't do very well, but I had fun. And if you want, Anonymous Supian, I shall return to this game after I've had a bit more practice. But thank you. This morning it definitely was the distraction that I needed. And yeah, it seems to be a plague for Indiana Jones games of the period. They are a bit difficult, a bit unwieldy as at times. And this may have something to do with the fact that you know, translating a movie to a game comes with its own pressures. You have to represent, in particular, the characters, but the scenarios and so on and so forth. But then also there has to be a game. It has to be something that unfolds like a computer game, and maybe at times that's just not doable in a way that's entirely satisfying. Or maybe I should just, you know, as they say, get good, especially with that sequence with the boulder. Yeah, I'll come back to it. I'll practice and I'll return to this. In fact, actually, there are a couple of Indiana Jones games that I need to return to, and this is just going to be on that list, I think. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this or found it vaguely entertaining, especially at a time when, as I say, this is all I had time to do today. But it's been entertaining, and as I say, thank you for the suggestion. Oh, Supian, you know who you are. As ever, guys, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.
But what's archaeology?
That's brilliant.